Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I am excited to be here with you today because we are doing a giveaway and I want to share some tips on how you can restore your thin edges if that's something you've been struggling with. So in the meantime, while I wait for everybody to join, I wanted to let you know a little bit about this giveaway. So for today's giveaway, all you need to do is leave a comment and let me know once you shared this video. So all you gotta do is like it, share it, leave a comment and say you're done. And then we are giving away a bottle of our hair gummies and a bottle of our hair elixir. So if you want to be included in the giveaway, just like this live video and then you want to share it, and when you've done sharing it, then just leave a comment and say done, and that way you can be entered. We are ending this giveaway on Sunday night, so if that's something that you're interested in, you want to try the gummies, you haven't had a chance to try our elixir, just go ahead and like it, share it, and then comment done when you've done so. But today we are talking about how to restore thinning or thin edges. And the reason why is because, you know, it's summer. A lot of us are now excited to try like some new styles, but you know, in our culture, like edges are super important. So I wanted to talk to you about that. But before we really get all into it, let me know if y'all are here with me, and please do me a favor and just let me know where you're tuning in from. I'm Brandon Green. I'm the founder of Voice of Hair. I am in Austin, Texas, by way of Detroit. Let me know where you are watching, and thank you so much, Delight, for sharing. I see that already, so I'm excited to announce the winners of the giveaway. We will do that on Monday. But in the meantime, go ahead while I get started and just go ahead and do your roll call. If you're new here, that's what we like to do. But today, let me give you the first tip of what we're talking about. So again, we're talking about how to restore edges, and it's super important in our community because, you know, it's like if you don't have edges, people make jokes or you feel insecure, and I want you to get your confidence back. So the number one and first thing that you can do to help restore those edges is to leave them alone. And I know that sounds super common sense, but I think a lot of us aren't realizing what we're doing to our hair that's causing it to go away. So one, tight ponytails, weaves, sew-ins, braids, all of that friction along our hairline, this is the most delicate and fragile part of our hair. And it's often most overlooked. And so you have to take a break, and that's how we can first stop the traction alopecia from occurring. But also, if you've ever gotten your hair braided, let me know if in the comments, hey Ingrid, let me know in the comments if you have ever gotten your hair braided or any kind of style and it was so tight that you felt like you couldn't smile or talk and you needed an Advil or whatever so that you could get some relief. I know I've been there, and sometimes we're afraid to speak up, but when you see those little bumps around your hairline, then that's actually leading to a condition called folliculitis. Folliculitis is, it can lead to hair loss, and sometimes the hair can come back. Sometimes you need to get medication, but we can avoid all that by, one, if we get the style put in and it's too tight, take it out. Like, don't leave it in for 2 weeks. Take it out so that your hair can breathe and your edges can come back. So that's the number one thing you need to do to kind of stop the pain. If you are just joining us, as I mentioned before, doing a giveaway, all you need to do is like and share this post and leave a comment done so that I know. We are giving away a bottle of our hair gummies, which is a 1-month supply, and our hair elixir. So if you want to try them, that's all you got to do to enter in below. So that's the number one thing, leaving them alone. The number two thing that you can do to actually naturally help grow those edges back is use raw aloe on your edges. So a lot of part of the reason why some of us are having hair loss, and these tips don't work just on your edges, we're just talking about edges, but you can actually use these tips on other parts of your hair. But raw aloe is so full of great properties that actually can cleanse your hair, but also help to restore it. And so the edges are part of our scalp, right? And aloe can help. And if those hair follicles get blocked with dirt, sebum, and like with scaling, then your hair won't grow. So aloe, what I love about it, and I love to use it as a pre-shampoo treatment. If you want to know what that looks like, just go to this Facebook page at the top. You'll see the video pinned of how we use it. I use it as a pre-shampoo treatment. You just cut the aloe leaf, Then you can either take the gel and you can strain it like with a pair of pantyhose or a strainer, or you can just take the leaf and like rub it onto your edges. What you're doing when you do that, you want to apply it and then like kind of massage it in, and you do this all over your scalp, especially if you got dry scalp problems. You let it sit for 15 minutes and then you rinse it out and you shampoo and condition as normal. So it is like a pre-shampoo treatment. And what I personally do is I also, after I do the aloe treatment, I add some of the hair elixir to my scalp, I massage it in, and I let it sit in total for like 20 to 30 minutes. And that will help to, one, stop like the seborrheic dermatitis. You'll stop that, but you'll also help to stimulate hair growth in that area, because it's going to allow the nutrients to get penetrated into your scalp. So that's the number 2 thing you can do to help restore edges, but also, you know, your hair in general. The number 3 thing that I want you to try not to do is lay off the grease. So, you know, so many of us, we have grown up, like I know my grandma was super big on the Blue Magics or some of these like petroleum based greases. And while they definitely can help to, you know, your hair to seal in moisture, but it's not good on the scalp because they're full of petroleum and mineral oils. And those products, when they get into the scalp, they can block the follicles and stop the hair from growing. So I'm not saying that like those are horrible products. I'm not bashing any product, but what I'm saying is it's not for good use on the edges or the scalp. If you got really bad issues, that's one thing that I kind of want you to stop doing. And instead, you want to just keep in mind that like whenever you apply oil in general, oil creates a barrier for hair. It will not allow moisture in, and it really stops moisture from getting out. But mineral oil is an even bigger barrier, and that's why you don't want it along your edges. So that's the number 2 thing. Number 3 thing that you can do to really help your hair, especially as it's growing back, is you want to use a satin pillowcase. We actually sell satin pillowcase. You can see this is my Voice of Hair pillowcase. Every person in my family sleeps on one, because when your scarf or your bonnet falls off, what happens when we got our bonnets on in the middle of the night? For me, this happens every night. And even if the rest of my hair doesn't come out, always my hairline is exposed. So you want to sleep on a satin pillowcase or even silk, because it's going to prevent that friction along your hairline, and it's also going to help keep the moisture in your hair, because cotton, when your hair, like when you lay on cotton, it absorbs the moisture, and a lack of moisture leads to breakage. So that's the simple, like a simple, easy fix that you can do if you are in need of a satin pillowcase. You can check out our store for that as well. But the 4th thing that you can actually do, and this is very important, is you want to avoid direct heat in hard setting. Direct heat is definitely one, but the one I'm talking about right now is hard setting gels, edge controls, hairsprays, and just really drying alcohols. So these products, like the freeze gels, the glues, like all those kind of things, they dry our edges out specifically. And a lot of times, you know, especially in the summer, we be trying to lay that baby hair. We want to look real cute. But if you're doing that a couple times a week, your hair is getting very dry. And then as you're slicking it back into a style, you are making it more prone to breakage. So I want you to try to avoid certain like bad alcohols. So I don't want you to think all alcohols are bad, but these are some of the bad alcohols, meaning that they're very drying to the hair, that you want to avoid in your edge controls and in your products. So try to avoid ethanol alcohol, ethyl alcohol, propanol alcohol, alcohol denat, 2 words, isopropyl alcohol, and then isopropanol alcohol, and benzoyl alcohol. These are all different alcohol types that are super duper common, and not even in just edge controls and hairsprays, but these alcohols are sometimes in like leave-in creams and things like that. And it's just important to know that the reason why some of these products work so well at keeping your edges laid down is because they have these drying agents in there. And I mean, they're doing their job, but it also, if you have weak edges, that is probably contributing to the problem. So I want to also share with you what some good alcohols are, though. So some good alcohols, meaning like they are actually helpful to your hair if you see them in products: cetyl alcohol, cetearyl alcohol, stearyl alcohol, and then lauryl alcohol. those are like considered fatty alcohols that actually help to keep the hair more moisturized. So don't worry if you see those, but do try to avoid the other ones that I mentioned. So I know we got a little technical there. If you are just joining, we are doing a giveaway with our hair gummies as well as our hair elixir. All you have to do is like, comment, and share this live. And then we're picking somebody on, when you comment in this live, just tell me that you're done so I know when I'm going back to try to pick the winner. But the next thing that you can actually do to help stimulate your edges and your hair in general to grow back is two things: moisture, 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 and then massage. So as far as moisture, you know, our hair is going to be healthiest when it's moisturized. It's going to have more elasticity, meaning, you know, like when our hair is curly, it'll bounce back into that curly state. And, you know, your hair just has more bounce. But when your hair is dry, it doesn't do that. Well, this is personally why I'm a big proponent of like the LCO method, meaning when I'm wearing my hair in its naturally curly state or a kinky curly state, I always do water. I'll apply water first, then a cream, and then I use an oil, and I use our hair elixir last. Well, on your edges, a lot of times we forget about the edges, but the edges need moisture as well. So what you want to do, especially if you're wearing like a naturally curly style, just don't forget to like also moisturize your edges, like meaning add water to them, and then you can kind of seal it with the oil. And then the next most important thing you want to do on a daily basis, up to 3 minutes a day, is massage those edges. Like massage your hairline and any part of your hair that you're trying to get to grow back, because massaging is actually what stimulates blood to the scalp, and that is actually what causes the hair to grow. So if you're adding product but you're not massaging your scalp, then you're really doing yourself a disservice. Okay, the next thing that you can actually do is it's super important, and we've talked about this a lot actually, is you actually have to make sure you're getting the right nutrients in your body. So a healthy diet that's full of protein, that's high in biotin and things like that is really important, but a lot of us struggle with getting those foods in. And that's why we launched our hair gummies, because sometimes people don't have a chance to eat as healthy as they should, but you can just take 2 gummy vitamins, and then they taste like candy, but also have a lot of the ingredients that you need, or vitamins you need for healthy total health, skin health, but hair health. Olive oil is definitely a great oil. Yeah, like you gotta make sure you're massaging your scalp. Olive oil is a great oil for sealing and things like that, and also just keeping the hair very moisturized. But I would say that there are some other oils that are definitely better for helping to kind of stimulate growth. Black seed oil is really great. Rosemary oil there was a clinical trial done with rosemary oil, and then also with patients who were using minoxidil, which is the active ingredient in Rogaine, and they found that the use of rosemary was just as effective. So there are other oils. We have about 25 in our hair elixir, but if you're going to be using an oil, I would say like something like peppermint oils are really good, but you also want to make sure that if you're just buying those oils separately and not using an already blended formula, you got to make sure that it's properly mixed with like a carrier oil. So like a olive oil or coconut oil, because those oils are very strong and they can actually really irritate your scalp and your skin. So yes, I think I kind of got it. So if you are just joining me, we just covered the kind of 8 things that you can do to really naturally regrow your hair. And I'm gonna cover it because I know we talked about a lot. But also, if you do want to join our giveaway, all you got to do is like and share this post, and then leave a comment and say done, so I know on Sunday when I go back and select the winner, and I can know that you want to be entered. So the number one thing that I mentioned before is leave your edges alone. Really try to avoid those tight styles. The number 2 thing we talked about is laying off the grease. Number 3 thing we discussed is using aloe vera on your scalp, especially around your hairline, to break up all of that dirt and to actually allow the hair to grow healthy through there. Number 4, you want to sleep with a satin pillowcase in case that bonnet or scarf comes off, so that your edges aren't getting worn out. The next thing you want to do is also leave the direct heat alone. Try to put down a pressing comb and the flat irons, because that actually dries the hair out and leads to breakage. Also, avoid, number 5, avoid hard setting gels, edge controls, hairsprays. And I'm not saying you have to avoid them. Like if your edges are in good shape and those work for you, hey, do your thing, sis. But for those of us who maybe struggle with our hairline and really trying to see it come back, those are products that you kind of want to leave away or leave aside, because they a lot of times have those drying alcohols in them that I mentioned, which can actually dry your hair out. And if, like I said before, if you see products that have those drying alcohols in it, all those ethanol, ethyl, propanol, those things, you don't want to use those on your hair either. Also, number 6 thing I talked about is massaging. You can't just apply products. You actually need to do a massage with the product, and I would say do that up to 3 minutes a day. You'll actually help to stimulate blood flow to your scalp and help that hair to grow. And then also, you've got to eat healthy. Make sure that you're getting enough protein, but also there's like 11 key vitamins that your body needs to produce healthy hair. We actually have those in our hair gummies, and that's why we're doing a giveaway. So if you found this helpful, and did I mention the last one? And then I said aloe vera, lay off the grease, avoid hard setting gels, leave the direct heat alone, and keep your hair and scalp moisturized, and take your vitamins. So if you found this helpful, please like and share. Again, if you do end up sharing it, just leave a comment down below so that I can make sure we enter you in our giveaway to win our hair elixir and the gummies. Yes, if stress has been a big part of your life, and stress can certainly make your hair dry. So you said that you went natural and used oils and vitamins, you're still struggling. You know, if stress can definitely be a factor, but it also could be part of the way that you're styling your hair. It could be maybe you are actually, first of all, you have to understand, is your hair breaking or is it shedding? Breakage often comes from the things that we've discussed. A lot of heat can dry our hair out, and so our hair can break. But if your hair is shedding, like from the root, it could be several factors. Personally, I had a tumor, a brain tumor that was actually affecting my hormones, and so I was losing hair at that time. I was doing a lot of other things, but it was really my hormones that were off balance. So I recommend, if you haven't yet been able to figure out the root cause of the problem, try to go to the doctor, get your blood work checked so that you can see, you know, maybe the vitamins that you were taking didn't have what you actually needed. Maybe you needed iron and your vitamins didn't have it. So that's kind of one of the things. I'm not a doctor, but that is what I would personally recognize. Gina, I would recommend, we actually have a moisturizer that we will be launching really soon, but in the meantime, you want to look for a product where definitely water is the first ingredient in that list. And the reason why is because water is the best moisturizer. Also, aloe vera is a very good moisturizer, but you want that to be the first ingredient and not like some other chemicals, because that is going to make your hair feel the most hydrated. And also, something as clean as you can find it. I know that a lot of the labels are very difficult to read, but looking for products that are clean. As far as what's on the market, I actually have been formulating my own for the last several months, so I don't necessarily have one that I am in love with that I would personally endorse. But I hope that was helpful. If y'all have other questions, yes ma'am, Stephanie, braids are not good for everybody. And also, if you are a braids fan and you still want, you know, to rock braids this summer, maybe try knotless braids, which have less tension on your hair. They actually don't, like, you know, make the knot around the scalp, but they actually like feed the braid into the hair, and those are less tension, but sometimes they don't last as long. So you just have to balance that. Personally, I used to be a weed queen every summer. I was rocking it, and you know, I started having traction alopecia, and thank God my hair is growing back and has grown back, but it was super difficult. It was a difficult time. I was embarrassed. So I just decided to stop that and to try to, you know, wear style, like some natural styles. So that's what I personally do in the summer. I do really miss the braids, and but if I was to go back to braids, I would definitely try knotless. So if your hair falls out when you comb it, and your edges are gone, what do you recommend? So Tony, kind of similar to the advice that I gave, I believe it was Hazel, just about, you know, first of all, if your hair is coming out, like when you say your hair is coming out, if you look at that hair strand and you see the white bulb at the end, then your hair is shedding. But it's so many reasons why your hair might be shedding. Your hair could be shedding because of, like someone mentioned, stress. There's a cycle called telogen effluvium. When we go through a stressful event in our life, we often see the results in our hair like 3 to 4 months later. And so if you've been really stressed about work, or I don't know, a loved one or a relationship, you sometimes don't realize it, but it's affecting your hair, and you might see the result later. So if it's like a situation like that, where it was an event like a surgery or something, some sort of shock to your body, that actually usually will start to repair itself, you know, within like 6 months or so. But if your hair is shedding, you could be extremely dehydrated, because again, your body keeps the moisture, like water is vital to our body and our hair is not. So your body is going to store water for your most vital organs and take it away from your hair. So like it could be that. It could also be like I said, hormones. For me, I had a hormonal imbalance. I didn't know until I went to the doctor and had my blood work checked. So I always just recommend, first and foremost, when I'm having hair issues and I know I didn't do something to my hair, I always go to the doctor to try to get my blood work looked at. I asked them like, hey, do I have any deficiencies? Recently, this past fall, when I was experiencing some hair loss, I got my blood work done. I realized I was anemic and I had very low B12, and so I had to start taking those supplements. And that's why we actually launched our gummies, because a lot of us are not necessarily getting what we need in our food, but we can remember to take a gummy because it's tasty. So I hope that was helpful, and if you did find this helpful, like I said, please share this post, leave a comment and say done, and I can enter you into our giveaway. If you are the winner, what I'll do is I'll send you a message and ask for your address, and then we will get that sent off to the mail to you. But I hope y'all have a blessed weekend, and any other questions, just drop them below. And thank you for watching. Bye-bye.